Sometimes you've got to let people go. I know it's incredibly hard. I know it's stressful. I know it doesn't make sense. I know that we've had a relationship with people for a long time, but sometimes we have to let them go. You ever had a relationship with someone that at one time was really good? It was life-giving. It was meaningful. There was good connection, good communication, good conversation, mutual support and edification, and you had all of that going in the relationship. But over time, it changed. Over time, you've grown, the person you were in the relationship with grew, and maybe you grew apart. Have you seen in life at times when people think differently after a few years? And we say to ourselves, wow, they've changed. Something's amiss. We're not connecting like we used to. Have you ever had somebody who used to be a supporter in your life who's now seeming to be an adversary? I've had that happen before in my life. Not too long ago, I had a friend who I've known for about 20 years. And I hadn't seen him in a long time. I moved away and he lived in a different part of the country, but we reconnected a little bit through social media, through Facebook and that type of thing. At one point, we used to have deep conversations, hang out a lot. We actually built an organization together years ago, and we were on the same page. And then after these many years, we reconnected and come to find out I've grown a lot. He's grown, but we are no longer in the same mindset. We weren't thinking the same way anymore. We weren't flowing together anymore. And I had some new thoughts and ideas in my life and new ways that I had been living that he didn't agree with. So instead of a connection, it was a division. Instead of a communication, it became a confrontation. And I had to finally make a choice in my life that I had to let the relationship go. Every time we connected, it was tense and it was combative. And it was one of those things of, you need to do what I'm telling you to do. And I was like, listen, hear me out. And it didn't happen. Sometimes we have to make a choice. Sometimes we have to decide enough's enough. And unfortunately, there are relationships that meant a lot to us in the past that are not going to be with us in the future. And it is so hard. But it's worth it to let them go for your own growth and for your own peace of mind. I think a lot of times we say we can't let somebody go because that would be rude or insensitive or unloving or unkind. And you've heard people say, we go way back, you and I. You know, almost as if we owe them something because we had a relationship for years, but we don't owe anybody anything. What we should look at in any relationship is the current status, the current state of the relationship. Is this relationship life-giving? Is it mutually edifying? Is it encouraging? Is it building us up? Are we helping each other to grow? Are we supporting each other in our growth? When we have differing opinions, can we still agree to disagree while we figure things out? Can we give space for people to figure out what they want to do or what they're thinking or what they're trying to figure out in their lives, right? Sometimes in relationships, people have decided that they know the answers and those answers should be your answers also. But how many know that's not true? We all know in part and see in part, and we all see things slightly differently, and every one of us are on a different path, right? We're all trying to figure this thing out. We're all trying to work this thing out. Nobody knows everything about everything, and we really need each other to grow, to understand more, and to see things from a different perspective. But there comes a time when you realize the person you're in relationship with has chosen not to grow with you, have chosen to try to control. Maybe it's based in fear, maybe it's based in conviction, I don't know, but you get to a place where you realize this is not working anymore. Every time I'm with this person, I'm tense and I hang up the phone or leave that meeting feeling stressed and anxious and angry and irritable. And if that's the case, the relationship has stagnated and maybe even died. And you don't want to stay in a situation like that. So I had to make a choice to end a 20-year friendship based on some contentious condemnation and some other things that was coming my way. And I thought, you know what? I can't live like that anymore. I need to be in relationship with people who are open-minded, who are curious. You know, it's funny. I have another friend who I can talk about anything with. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how far out there. Doesn't matter whether he agrees or doesn't agree. He's an awesome dude. And he says, tell me more. Well, that's interesting. And I do the same with him. Now, that's a good, healthy relationship. That's a relationship that can go the distance because we're open-handed with each other, open-hearted with each other. So I want to encourage you in your life, if you've decided that somebody you're with just wants to force, demand, command, and hold you to the wall, it might be time to let it go. As hard as it is, when I let it go, I will tell you, it was one of the most grievous times I've had. This was a friend. This was a brother. This is someone who I really appreciated, but I could no longer connect with. It's sad, but I want to encourage you this. It's worth it. So I wish the person well. And that's the thing. If you have to let someone go, don't do it vindictively or violently or accusationally or, public smearing and all that. Just let it go in grace and then you grow. There might be some people in your life that you've outgrown or that you've grown apart from. And we have to give ourselves permission to accept that those relationships were good for the season of our life and for the place that we were at that time. And be thankful for it. And then we let it go and we look around us to see who's with us now and who wants to grow forward with us. So I want to encourage you, do that if you need to. Find peace and also don't beat yourself up for making choices for yourself. I encourage you to grow forward and be with people that you can truly connect with. I encourage you to like and follow this channel if you find value in the content. And keep an eye out because I'm going to bring on guests who are going to help us in understanding on how to grow forward in our mental health, our spiritual health, our physical health, our relational health. We're going to talk about how to make it through breakups. We're going to talk about how to get to the next stages in our lives when we're in transition. It's going to be a fantastic time. Join the community, share the channel, join me next week, and just know this. I appreciate you. I thank you, and I can't wait to see where this takes us. Until next time, remember, you are loved. Now grow forward.